My name is Rhonda Cornett, and I am in London, Kentucky in Laurel County, and our farm is Cornett Enterprises, and on our farm we raise about 250 acres of produce. About 150 acres of it is bell peppers that we market through Farmers Alliance, through Walmart and Kroger distribution centers all across the East Coast. We also raise kind of a hodgepodge of vegetables there to fulfill what our store needs throughout the year. And we also raise beef cattle and hogs to supply the store with meat as well. So our store kind of has a unique beginning. We opened in 2020 during the pandemic. My husband and I we've always worked on the farm, but we also worked off the farm in the hemp industry. And through that, the hemp industry kind of became a nice to have, not a need to have, and the company we worked for went bankrupt. So for the first time in our lives, we didn't have, off the farm income. And so we're like, okay, now what? Because nobody was hiring during the pandemic, obviously. So we had raised, kind of a small garden area, and we thought, well, we can start selling this produce. And between what we had and we bought from some other farmers in the area, we started having people just come out to the farm and just set up in the corner of our packing house. And in the first week the first month, we had like 1,000 customers come out to the farm in the first month. And they were like, oh, you're 7 miles out of town. If you were closer to London, we'd shop with you every day. And so I was kind of hesitant, but my husband was like, let's give it a shot. Well, a neighbor of ours told us that this building was coming open for lease. It was a lawnmower shop, and we flipped it in about a week to a farm store. And our landlord was like, I don't really want you to sign a contract. If you want out, you'll get out. If I want you out, I'll get you out. And my husband's like, perfect, let's make sure this is gonna work. So we started out just here on Bill George Road, which is about 6 miles from our actual farm. And it went better than we ever could have expected. The community support was unreal, and it's grown every year since. We've added on or modified what we've had every year since 2020, and so this is our 4th season here now. So we started selling on the farm, and that was great as far as getting people out and kind of doing the educational side of things, and people seeing the farm and kids seeing the hogs and the cattle and the tractors, and that was great, and we liked that. But we are a very active production farm, so it was always a fear of mine, somebody getting in the wrong space and being in danger and all those kind of things, because we've got tractors going everywhere and discs running and all those kind of things. So that was kind of a fear of mine of having it on the farm. And I also wanted kind of that division between work and life a little bit on the farm. So when we moved to town, that kind of helped that a little bit. At the end of our business day, we lock the doors, we go home. If somebody comes, they see the business hours, they know when we're open, when we're not. Nobody's knocking on my front door saying, hey, can I buy a box of tomatoes? So I do like that part. And on the farm we have signs that say no on-farm sales, so that way people know that they've got to come up to our store. That keeps it a lot cleaner for us. The worst part for us when we were doing things on the farm, somebody wants to buy a bucket of strawberries, they go out and they ask one of our workers. Well, we've got H-2A workers that are getting paid $14.26 an hour. So by the time they stop, deal with that customer, then get back to their work, a lot of times that was 15-20 minutes. Well, time is money in those situations. So when we moved it up here, having employees that are totally dedicated to the retail side of it, it kind of let our farm workers do their thing. It let our retail workers do their thing, and it was a much better balance as far as that goes, to kind of keep everybody doing what they should be doing and knowing the answers to the questions, because a lot of our Hispanic fellas don't speak English, and a customer would ask them a question and they would be deer in the headlights and didn't know what to say, whereas up here we've got workers that we've trained educationally to tell them about the varieties and tell them, yes, this comes from here and this is what's in season and all those kind of things. So on our farm, we try to raise a little bit of everything that you would find at any big box retail store in the produce section. Then we transition into the mum season. As you see behind us here, we do this actually at the store instead of on the farm. Whenever we run short on vegetables, we always try to source first off from local farmers, whether it's Laurel County, Pulaski County, or even across the state. We've got a lot of network that we can reach out to. Even got some blueberries out of Meade County for, farmers for the market this year. So we get our eggs from the Homegrown Heroes Sturgeon Creek Farm in Jackson County. We get a lot of our cheese from Wildcat Mountain Cheese, which is the last dairy in Laurel County. We get our ice cream from Taylor Bell's Ice Cream, mushrooms from a farmer in Bell County, blackberries from a farmer right on the edge of Clay County. So we try to, kind of spread around and put as much. If we don't have it, we definitely want to give a local farmer the opportunity to put it in the store. Same thing with honey. We've got a guy from Waynesburg that supplies our honey. Ironically, his name is Cornett also, Cornett Local Honey. So everybody thinks it's ours, but it's actually not. It's from that fella. But we try to put as many Kentucky Proud items in. Our customers love that. That's what they want to see. They want to buy as local as they can and help as many farmers as they can. Sometimes we can't get everything, so we work with Laurel Grocery here in our county, and they source in quite a bit of things like citrus for us and apples until some of our apple friends get their apples in. So we work with some other people besides, but again, Laurel Grocery is still a local company, so that's why we kind of work with them to get in the pineapples and the avocados and the random things that aren't going to be able to be grown in Kentucky. So we kind of went with the wide variety of products, like the bananas and pineapples, avocados, because our customers really wanted that. They wanted a one-stop shop for the most of their groceries, so we added in things to be basically a small local farm grocery store even. So if you want Velveeta cheese, you can get Velveeta cheese here. You can get your avocados and your, whatever the case it is. So if you want to fix a supper, you can come in and get everything that you need to fix your supper here. That way they can use as many local ingredients as they can, but then they don't have to make a second stop. Our customer base ranges from teenagers coming in and getting their lunch for school all the way to, I think one of our oldest customers is 94. A 94-year-old doesn't want to skirt around a really big grocery store to get all the things they need. Plus here, our customer service, they get the opportunity of us unpacking everything onto the checkout line for checkout. We carry everything to their vehicles for them. Just the convenience of some of that kind of stuff. But we always wanted our business to be customer driven. So that is what we've done. As they have asked for things, we tried our best to make space and expand so that way they could get everything they wanted and keep a happy customer. The biggest thing that we've had to work through is growing as fast as we need to. There was definitely a need for this type of business. Otherwise, we wouldn't have grown as fast as we have and have been as successful as what we have. But our customers, like I said, they went from wanting just the average farmer's market things to wanting to, the full stop grocery thing. And then now they want a restaurant, and just being able to finance all those things has been probably our biggest challenge going forth, is being able to grow as fast as we need to and having the finance to do that. I think money's every farmer's first and biggest complaint is, access to capital and things like that. So that's been something we've had to work through. The reason we kind of do as much as we do when we were trying to grow as much as we do is, my son is going to be a senior in college, my daughter's a freshman in college. They both want to come back to the farm. So my husband and I both from farms, we know that the income has to be large enough to support 3 families, which is always a hard thing to do. So that's why we're expanding the store as much as we are, because my daughter really is interested in that part. My son's really interested in the shipping and the packing side, and they're both interested in the farming side. So we're trying to make it, Brent and I are in our 40s, so I mean, we've got a long time before we're going to be able to retire, so we've got to support, 3 families. So that's probably been our biggest challenge, is growing as fast as we need to and providing the things that our customers want in a reasonable turnaround time before they lose interest in us and go somewhere else to get it. So my advice to anybody who's considering doing a farm market of any kind, whether it's on your farm or off of your farm, just dip your toe in the water and kind of get a feel for things. If you've already got an existing farm Facebook page, like I said, throw it out there and see what your followers say, if they would be interested in it or not. You never know till you try. If we hadn't tried this, and like I said, the pandemic kind of dunked us in the deep end, and we, just went all in, we probably wouldn't have tried it otherwise, because my husband a lot of times says that the store side gets a little too people-y for him, and so he stays at the farm. I'm definitely more the people person. So know your personality, know what you want to do. Try a little bit. You don't have to go whole hog and buy something huge or build something huge. Something very small with a little tent outside of your farm can give you a good indication of whether it's going to work or it's not going to work. Each year we have added something new. We definitely didn't start out at the scale that we are now. Like I said, we started in the corner of the barn, literally one bent of a tobacco barn. That's all that we had, and just had no clue where that was going to lead us. And then, by just jumping in and trying it, we found out that, okay, this is something that's going to work. So you don't have to go whole hog. You don't have to have anything fancy. In our store, it's plywood walls. We started out with just tables made out of pallets, and did very simple things with RPCs that we were using on the farm. We didn't put a lot of money in. The only thing we really spent money on was a good square register, so that way it was easy for the customer to check out. It was easy for us to kind of keep better records as far as that goes. That was like a $500 investment. The other thing I would say is look for grants. There's oodles and oodles of grants out there right now. Use your local resources. The Kentucky Small Business Association has been huge in helping us. All their services are free. They helped us set up our LLC. They helped us set up all our tax documents. They helped us look for grants. They put us in contact with other businesses that complemented our business. We used K-Card quite a bit to look for grants, and to, even grants that they weren't involved in, they were always happy to look over them, give us pointers, tips, advice. There's just so many free resources out there, and produce is different. Extension is wonderful, but in Kentucky, Extension is more in the tobacco and beef cattle, the traditional agriculture things. So Extension is learning with us a lot on produce. So don't get stuck on just your own state's Extension. We've reached out to Florida Extension. We've reached out to North Carolina and other states that have lots of resources. So don't limit yourself in your resources, because you'll find Extension's the same anywhere. They want to help farmers, period. Whether it's in Kentucky or it's somewhere else, they're willing to help you. And then the other thing I would say is go to things like the Farm Bureau certified market meetings. That's been a huge help for us as far as finding other producers to put things in our store that we don't grow. But they've got so many educational things, whether it's marketing, whether it's how to reach your customer base. If you're in the agritourism section of things, I mean, there's oodles and oodles of information that all those organizations can give you. But get out of your shell and ask people. Everybody wants to help you. I mean, it's shocking how much people really do want to help you. You just have to figure out what you need and then ask somebody for it. And you don't have to be an expert in everything, because there's already one. You just need to ask the right people so they can help you.